Good morning. So great to be here. Let's settle in, feel our bones on the earth, taking in all of the energy and the excitement of this week and of the semester ahead. And letting that move through us, letting that also ground us. Sometimes that excited energy can send us away from the present moment, but we'll use that to ground down into our being, kind of giving us some fuel and motivation to really take advantage of this semester ahead. Arriving right now in this present moment, just feeling how you are today. Seeing how the body feels after a week of maybe extended seated time or extended screen time. And see how the breath feels this morning. Is it fluid and with ease? Does it feel a little constricted or choppy? And how is the mind this morning? Busy, scattered, or present? Maybe quieting or calm? And just for a moment, recognizing the gift that you're giving to yourself as you cut out time for your practice. Offering a little self-love, self-gratitude, even some self-compassion for getting yourself to your mat and everything that helped to bring you here. And we'll begin to bring some movement into our joints. Let's rotate the pelvis, just gently rocking to the front of the pelvis, one side to the tailbone and then the other. And we'll start these little spirals down in the pelvic bowl and slowly start to move them up, spiraling into the hips and the belly, through the ribs, the mid-back, up to the shoulders and the chest, and maybe even gently moving through cervical spine, head, neck, opening the throat. Nice and slow here, we'll change directions. We don't need to fast forward our body through these movements. We'll just take them with ease. And letting that spiral come back down to the waist, the hips, the sits bones, and eventually coming back into stillness. We'll rotate that pelvis forwards and rock onto the front of the pelvis, open through the heart, and let the arms extend out to our sides, palms up towards the sky. And on the exhale, rotating pelvis back to the tailbone, tucking chin, reaching the fingers out in front, backs of the hands come together, long, deep exhale. Inhale, we'll open again, palms to the sky, feeling that movement all the way up in the shoulders. Exhale, belly button towards spine, backs of the hands come together. We'll take one more big breath here. Inhale, open, palms up. And on the exhale, let those hands float down by our sides. Right arm's gonna come up overhead. Let's bend that right elbow. Let the left fingers come over to meet. Gently bring the elbow in towards you. Walk the fingertips down the spine. Let's open through those triceps. Releasing through the teres and lats, letting that whole rotator cuff open. And from here, we'll slowly release. Let's bring that right arm around the front of the body, grabbing just behind the elbow, and then giving a gentle pull here. Rather than a press into the body, just think about extending through the fingertips, letting that stretch come around through the deltoids all the way into the spine. And on the exhale, we'll release. Let's bring this right arm around behind us, maybe placing the back of the hand on the sacrum or reaching for the left hip, or maybe the inside of the left elbow. Rolling those shoulders down, we'll sit up nice and tall. And from here, we'll bring left ear towards left shoulder. Opening down the side of the neck. And slowly returning to center and gently unwind. Let's bring our left arm up overhead. Reach through those left fingers, fingertips come down the spine, and then the right arm will come across to meet the elbow. We'll bring the fingertips towards the earth as the elbow reaches towards the sky. Feeling some strength in the belly here, we're sitting up nice and tall. And slowly release. Let's bring that left arm around the front of the body. Again, grab just behind the elbow. Give a little bit of a pull directly across the body. Find your breath. And from here, slowly release. Let's bring that left arm around the back of the body, maybe landing on sacrum, right hip, or that right inner elbow. Again, roll the shoulders down, strong belly, long spine, and then right ear comes towards right shoulder. And the inhale comes back to center. Slowly release. A couple of big shoulder rolls in one direction and in the other. Go ahead and slide off that cushion if you are seated up on one. We're going to bring our feet directly out in front. Toes reach up towards the sky. From here, we're going to flex the feet nice and strong. Lift the heels, bring the kneecaps back towards you. And then we'll point the right foot, keep that left foot flexed. And then switch. And switch again. And last time. Bringing both the feet into that nice strong flex position. Keep those quads active. Kneecaps are coming back towards us. Reach the arms to the sky. Imagine that you're activating your body so strong that you could just pop up off of the floor. So we're feeling a lot of strength here. Strong belly, strong arms. One more breath. Building a little fire. And on the exhale, go ahead and let the heels come to the earth. Soften the intensity of that central body and then throw the fingers out over the toes. And we're letting ourselves come into an easeful forward fold. Softening that intense energy, letting the body dangle towards the earth, forehead towards the knees. And we'll breathe here. We'll take one more long breath. And slowly come back to center. We're going to turn on our mat so that we're taking up the length of the mat if you aren't already there. And bringing the feet out a fair distance away from the sits bones. We're going to bend into those elbows. Let's cross the left ankle on top of the right quad and then sit up nice and tall. If you want that to be a little bit of a deeper stretch this morning, you can lift those right toes. Really pressing through the hands to help keep some length in the spine, strength in the belly, opening the outside of that left hip. Being mindful that the left foot stays flexed to protect the tendons and ligaments of the ankle and the foot. And from here, we'll slowly release. Keep that left leg where it is, but straighten the right foot down so the leg is nice and long. From here, we'll sit up nice and tall and come slightly forward, placing the hands on either side of that right leg. Breathing into the right hamstrings. Finding your edge, and you can kind of press up against it, just don't push past it. Breathing into that edge. And with our inhale, slowly coming back to center, we're going to stand this left knee, giving the knee a great big hug with the inside of the right elbow. We're going to twist the body towards the left. Again, use the belly to twist and then place the left hand down behind you. So that left hand is kind of just an anchor rather than a point of force. If it's comfortable for you to look over the left shoulder, feel free to take that modification. And on the exhale, we'll slowly release, coming back to center and gently unwind. And then the left leg comes out in front. Arms up overhead and we'll forward fold. Again, letting the gaze come down towards the knees, maybe noticing any difference between left and right sides of the body. Letting the body communicate here for a moment, integrating the stretch from the left over to the right. And with our next inhale, we'll come back up to our seated position and bring the heels in so that the knees are slightly bent. Right foot comes on top of that left quad. Find a place where it's comfortable for the ankle to rest on top of the knee. And then you can sit right up on top of those sits bones, long spine, press the hands into the earth to give you some length. Maybe lift the left toes if that feels good for you. And one more deep breath here, settling into that right hip as it opens this morning. And we'll use the exhale to slowly release, extending the left leg down so the leg is long on the mat. Right knee or right ankle can stay where it is. We'll place the hands out in front on either side of that left leg, long through the spine, flex the left foot, and then take just an ever so slightly forward fold. Rotating the sits bones out behind, releasing the hamstrings. One more breath. And with our exhale, we'll release and sit up tall. We'll stand that right knee. Give a great big hug with the inside of the left elbow. Twist through the torso. And then that right hand just comes down gently behind. You're welcome to gaze over the right shoulder. Again, nice and strong through the belly, long through the spine. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And slowly unwind, returning to center. We'll extend that right foot out in front, arms up overhead, and we'll forward fold. Gaze to the knees, breathe here. And our next inhale, bring us back to center. We'll crisscross the feet in front of us, rock forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we'll take tabletop. Nice strong pose. Peel the belly up and away from the earth. Engage that low belly, long spine. And we'll shift the weight onto the left knee, extend the right foot out behind us, press the toes down into the ground, and we'll shift out the right ankle and heel. Letting that energy come all the way down the leg, releasing through the calf. And from here, slowly shifting back forward, shoulders directly over the wrists. And we'll lift that right leg up and then bring it over to the left as we're making a rainbow behind us. And then letting the foot touch down in that bottom left corner of the mat. And then we'll come back up and bring it over to the bottom right corner. So we're going to make some big rainbows out behind us. As we move through these, move with ease and gentleness. Try not to be too forceful with what's happening in the glutes, but also being mindful that we're not breaking in that low back. So we want to keep the belly strong through these movements rather than arc as we rise up and the belly falls down towards the mat. So lots of control and coordination here between the low belly and the core down into the glutes. And we'll take 1 more breath here. And bring ourselves back to center, and we'll make our way into tabletop. Maybe even feeling that in that stabilizing leg in the left glutes just as much as in the right. Full body movement there. One more breath. And we'll shift the weight into the right knee, extend the left foot out behind. Press those toes down into your mat, shifting the weight, really pressing into the heels of the hands to help give a nice stretch down the back of the leg. Releasing through the ankle, through the foot. If you struggle with knee pain, that can sometimes be because of tight calf muscles, so this can be a good one to play with. And then from here, we'll shift forward. Let's lift that left leg up towards the sky, across the back of the mat, touch down at that bottom right corner, and then rainbow into the other side. So again, keeping the core nice and strong. Should be really limited movement in through the ribs, the waist, or the hips with this. Really trying to keep all of the movement from the glutes down to the ankle. That's why you might be feeling it in that stabilizing leg. There's actually quite a bit going on to help keep the body from bending and twisting as that foot moves. We'll do one more here. And then make your way back to center, finding tabletop, and then we'll shift back for child's pose. As we're down here in our child's pose, use this opportunity to roll out the wrists, bending, flexing, rotating. Maybe wiggling through the fingers. And slowly come back up to our tabletop position. And from here, we'll move into downward dog. Let's curl those toes under. Roll our sits bones to the sky. Lead with the pelvis and then shift back. Heels make their way towards the earth. Sits bones to the sky. Breathe here. One more long breath. And slowly, let's walk the hands back to meet the feet. We'll find Uttanasana, our full forward fold. We're gonna let the feet come just slightly wider than the hips, not all the way to the outer edge of the mat, just slightly wider than hip width. If your fingertips can come to the earth, great. If not, you're welcome to grab for a bolster or a block. We want to attempt to get either the fingertips or the palm of the hand to touch down directly below the face. So we're in kind of that midline position. Palm of the hand is just above the toes. And from here, we're going to reach, the left hand's going to reach to the earth and the right arm is going to reach to the sky. So we're twisting here in our forward fold. Again, if you can make contact with the earth, you can press down as well as reach up. So we're really expanding through our wingspan. We'll take one more breath here. Try to keep that weight evenly distributed between the left and right legs. And with our exhale, we'll unwind. Hang out here, maybe shake the head yes, shake the head no. And then the right hand is going to come directly below the face, either fingertips or palm. And then the left arm rises. And reach through the left fingers while you're pressing your right palm into the ground. Expanding through the chest, through the shoulders, enjoying that little spinal twist. One more breath. And with the exhale, we'll slowly unwind, coming back into that full forward fold. Gentle shake of the head, yes. Gentle shake of the head, no. And then slowly bring your feet slightly closer together, just shy of hip width now. Press the toes down into the earth. Press the heels into the earth. Soften through the knees, and we'll roll to standing. Come on up one vertebrae at a time. Soft knees, strong glutes, shoulders roll back. The last thing to rise is our gaze. And we'll find our mountain. Notice where your balance is this morning. Maybe let the eyes close, or maybe just soften the gaze on the earth in front of you. And with our next inhale, we're going to step the left foot forward, plant the feet for warrior one, and let the arms rise. Square off the hips, check your alignment, make sure there's that ever so slight pelvic tuck to extend through the low back rather than being forward and tailbone out behind you. Helps us stand up nice and tall. Left knee directly above or somewhere behind the ankle. And soften your gaze here in warrior one. Let the shoulders be soft as the fingers reach for the sky. Power from these poses really comes from the feet up through the inner thighs, through midline of the body, strong core, and out the center of the head. Almost imagine that the arms are weightless, reaching towards the sky. One more breath here. And on the exhale, we'll find warrior two. Slightly wider stance. Keep our gaze out over those left fingers, pelvis twists, so that we're open towards the long edge of the mat. Long deep breath here in warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior, left arm rises. Open through the belly. Inhale, warrior two. Gaze out over those fingers, long deep breath, strong midline. And on the exhale, we'll bring that left elbow down to the left knee and right arm reaches up towards the sky. Imagine that you're holding a precious stone or a bowl of water or something in that left hand, so the hand is active and strong, not just dangling towards the earth. Reaching through those right fingers, we can stay here, or we can bring, as if we were kind of braiding that right hand behind the ear, and then reaching out over the center of the head. So that bicep traces over the ear, reaching through the fingers, opening through the side body. And you can stay here, or if the bind is in your practice, you're welcome to take a bind here, bringing that left arm underneath the body, right arm comes around from behind and gazes over the right shoulder. And wherever you are, we'll let the exhale release us all the way back up into warrior two. Strong transition, lots of power in that left thigh. And with our inhale, we'll lengthen through the left leg, reach through the left fingers, making our way into Trikonasana, triangle. Right fingers reach for the sky, left fingers reach for the earth. Again, we don't want to collapse into that left hand. Imagine that you're reaching your right hip towards the sky. One more breath. And on our exhale, we'll slowly unwind, bringing both hands down to the earth on either side of that left foot, coming into a low lunge. And from here, we'll step back for plank. Left foot comes back to meet the right, finding ourselves in plank. And we'll come down to the earth either through chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. So choosing whichever variation feels most right, go ahead and lower the body down. Resting on the belly for a breath. We'll release the toes, and with our inhale, we'll gaze out in front. Keep those elbows in close to the body. Open through the heart, we'll find cobra. And exhale, release to the earth. And we're gonna come back up into downward dog. Lots of options to do that. You can come through upward dog, you can come through tabletop, whatever feels most right. Coming into child's pose maybe first. So giving yourself the next breath or two to find your way into downward dog. Long deep breaths here. And slowly start to walk the hands back to meet the feet. We're coming back into our forward fold. Let the upper body dangle. You're welcome to interlace hands at the elbows if that feels good for you this morning. Soften through the knees and we'll roll to standing. Belly button in towards the spine. We're going to roll all the way up. Shoulders roll down and back, and we find our mountain. Ground and center. Find your balance, settle your gaze. And we'll shift the weight onto the left foot so the right foot can come out in front, and we'll find warrior one on the right. Make sure that right knee is directly above or somewhere behind the ankle. Arms rise up when you're ready. Soft shoulders, strong belly. Take a couple of nice long deep breaths here. And with our exhale, we'll release into warrior two. Welcome to step that stance a little bit wider. Drop the shoulders, reach through the fingers. Again, noticing the position of the pelvis, making sure that we're nice and open here. We're not locked out through that left knee, and we want to make sure the right knee is not dropping towards the front of the mat. We want to keep that right knee directly above the ankle. Find our breath here. And release into peaceful warrior. Right arm rises to the sky, open the belly. And inhale back into warrior two. Recognizing the grace and importance of these transitions. We want to be mindful as we move through them. And right elbow comes down to the right knee and left arm rises to the sky. Again, imagine that that right hand is holding a precious stone. Left fingers are rising to the sky, opening through the side of the body. Enjoying these long diagonals, these long lengths of the body. And then maybe bringing that bicep to trace over ear. Fingertips reach out over the center of the head. And then again, if a bind is interesting to you or in your practice, you can move into that now. This left hand will come behind the body. Right arm comes underneath, and we interlace our fingers, rolling that left shoulder up and back. Strengthen that right quad. One more breath here. And slowly start to unwind. We'll press back up into warrior two. Lots of strength in that right leg. Breathe here. And with our next inhale, we'll straighten through the right leg. Reach through the right fingers, finding triangle. Left fingers to the sky. Again, right fingers are making their way towards the earth. You're welcome to rest those fingers on the calf or on the quads or on the shin. We just don't want to collapse into that right hand. So lots of strength here through the belly and the core for triangle strong pose. One more breath. And on the exhale, we'll release the hands to the earth. Coming into our low lunge, bent right knee, strong left leg, and then we'll step back for plank. Enjoying the length of plank here. Belly's in nice and strong. You're welcome to bring your knees to the earth. And again, we'll lower down, either knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Make your way to the floor. As you're ready, we'll take cobra, release those toes, open through the heart. Feel the belly up and away from the earth. And on the exhale, coming all the way down. From here, we're going to press into child's pose. And imagine that we're rolling over a big, huge beach ball. So we're really going to round the spine as we push up. As we press up and back, belly button comes in towards the spine. Imagine that beach ball underneath the belly. We're trying to roll over it, making our way into child's pose. Countering the back bend from cobra. Enjoying an arched back here in child's pose. And we'll take 2 more breaths. With our next inhale, we'll press up into hero. As we press up, if this is uncomfortable on the knees, we can set a bolster or a block underneath those sits bones. We want to try to set the sits bones right in between the heels, hands rest on the thighs, and we find a long spine. Chin is parallel with the earth, lifting through the center of the head. One more long breath here. And slowly rocking forward, so we're on hands and knees. We'll crisscross the feet behind us, rock back onto our sits bones, and bring our feet directly out in front. Toes are reaching up towards the sky, arms rise. And we'll find our last forward fold this morning, belly button down towards the thighs. Gaze eventually comes down to the knees. One long deep breath here. And slowly inhale back to center. Let's go ahead and shift our bottom forward. We're going to make our way down onto our backs. A couple different options. You're welcome just to slide right down onto your back. If you want to come down with a little bit of activation of the core, we'll come into a reverse roll up. So our hands are going to be by our sides, reaching the fingers towards the top of the mat. Think about bringing your belly button in towards your spine so that we're rounding, creating a C curve with the spine, almost as if you were kind of holding a bowling ball on your belly. So that belly button comes in nice and strong. We reach those fingers out towards the top of the mat. And then we'll come down one vertebrae at a time. So that tailbone really tucks here, as if you're pointing the tailbone to that space between the knees. And we come on down one vertebrae at a time, keeping that belly strong all the way down. If you find that it's too much on the low back, just release and make your way to the earth. We'll all get there together. And eventually the arms come up overhead as the spine lengthens down. From here, we're going to bring those heels a little bit wider than our hips so that the knees are standing, and we're going to drop both knees to the right. As those knees drop to the right, feeling that nice long opening from the left pinky finger all the way down and out that left knee. Releasing the quads and the hip flexors, letting go of the belly, opening the diaphragm. Settle into the breath, a long inhale and long exhale. And from here, slowly coming back to center and taking your time, dropping the knees to the left. Now feeling that nice long line from the right pinky finger all the way down the right knee. One more breath. And slowly inhaling back to center. We're going to walk the feet together and then let the knees drop down to the left and right sides of the mat. Arms are welcome to stay up overhead, or you can bring them down by your sides, palms open to the space in the room. Body and mind might be recognizing the quieting and slowing of the practice as we're making our way into Shavasana. So maybe go ahead and let those eyes close and let the tongue press into the roof of the mouth right behind where the front two teeth meet the roof of the mouth. This allows the jaw to be open and at rest. Letting the belly fill with air. Letting the diaphragm drop down towards the pelvis, massaging the belly. And from here, we'll slowly stand to the right knee and then slide that right foot down, coming into a straight leg, and let the right foot flop open. And we'll stand the left knee, let that left leg extend down, and then let the left foot flop open. As the feet are flopped open, the hands are open to the space in the room. signaling to the body that we're in a place of rest and restoration, letting go of our holding patterns, letting go of our non-beneficial thoughts, coming back into that place of self-love and gratitude and compassion, giving ourselves permission to fully be at ease with whatever is here. Our yoga practice helps us remember that life will not be free of suffering, it will not be free of tension, it will not be free of tightness, but we can use our breath, our mind, to change the way that we approach those constrictions that come forward. We use the time on our mat so that we have those tools at hand, ready and available when we need them as we walk through our day. And for the next few moments, asking nothing of yourself except just being here present in this moment. There's no practice, there's no count, nothing needs to change or be modified. Just be with what arises. Allowing the rise and fall of the breath to come at its own natural rhythm. Maybe noticing the body begin to take up more space on the earth as it rests. With our next inhale, begin coming back into the space in the room, recognizing we're laying here on our mat, bringing our awareness into the palms of our hands. And we'll curl the fingers in towards the palm, giving a gentle squeeze, rotating the wrists. And then releasing the backs of the hands and the knuckles and the fingers. Unfurling those fingers, letting them stretch out in all directions. And then we'll bring the awareness to our feet. We point through the toes, roll the ankles, flex the feet, and then change directions. And letting the awareness come on up the body as we bring some windshield wiper movement into the feet, feeling that movement come all the way up into the hips at the head of the femur. And then slowly letting the chin rotate towards the left shoulder and back to center and towards the right shoulder. And we'll let that right heel now slide up the mat, bringing the knee back to standing. And left heel slides up the mat, bringing the knee to standing. And we'll shift our weight in one direction, let the body rock towards the earth in the opposite direction. And taking a brief moment here, orienting to a new position, and then giving yourself some time to press up to a comfortable seated position. And allow yourself to perch back up on your cushion. Maybe sit with legs extended out or cross-legged in front of you. Enjoying that sensation of having the sits bones grounded back down into the earth, spine long, strong belly. Take a long inhale together. Arms rise. Breathe in the merit and the abundance of our practice. And the hands come to heart center on the exhale. And such deep gratitude for you all for coming out and joining, whether you be here in person or following the recording. Thank you for taking time to check in with your mind, body, and spirit. Have a beautiful day and a wonderful weekend. Be well.